Hello, Nobuki Takamen here. I'm a jazz guitarist from New York City. Today, I would like to talk about my guitar, Gibson ES335. I get a lot of emails asking about my gears, especially people who watched my performance videos and also listen to my albums on Spotify and Amazon and Apple Music. So I simply decided to make a video me talking about my gears, especially guitars. So first I decided to talk about my primary guitar, that is my Gibson ES335. This one is a reissue of 1963, and actually this was built in 1998. I got this guitar when I still lived in Japan, and actually I found this guitar at a music store in Shinjuku in Tokyo. The reason why I was looking for guitars like this was because I used to have my Gibson ES-175, but I didn't like the fact that I tended to get the feedback. So I was looking for Gibson 335 or similar models with like a thinner body with a center block. And when I got into the music store, I actually got to try maybe like a 3 or 4 335 that they had in stock. And when I grabbed this guitar, I immediately kind of fell in love because first of all, I really like the neck. This particular model, like 1963, I feel like the neck is a little bit thinner than the other Gibson 335. I actually used to play Fender Stratocaster and also Ibanez, a lot. Those guitars had a thinner neck. So when I actually grabbed this neck, I felt like this is really comfortable. So that was actually part of the reason why I decided to get this one. And also I really like the color of this guitar. I'm originally from Hiroshima, Japan, and I'm really into the local baseball team called Hiroshima Toyo Carp. And the team color of Carp is actually red, so I mean, this actually grabbed my attention. And part of the reason why I got this is actually because of that baseball team. Okay, and let me explain the parts and things that I changed. Okay, so this guitar has mostly the original parts, but I changed a couple things. I changed the tuner because the old ones got kind of like a little loose. So my friend Rick McCurdy, who is actually amazing guitar luthier, changed actually the tuning picks for me. So it's got not original tuning picks, but it looks kind of like the same as the original one. And also I changed the nut a couple times because I wanted to get the lower action. Okay, let me talk about the frets a little bit. I've refretted 3 times in 20 years, a little bit over 20 years, and but I tried to keep the all the frets as close to the original size because I really like the original fret that came with the guitar. So every time I do that, I always ask the guys to find a very, very similar ones. And the pickups and also the pickguard and everything else are mostly original. But I would like to point out that I actually changed the saddle. Several years ago, I made a solo album, and actually I had like 2 mics. So the one is directly for the guitar amp, and then the other one's actually to capture the acoustic sound of the guitar. Although this guitar doesn't have like big sound, but I want to kind of get the sound or like the air from the guitar. So I had a mic here, but every time I listen back to the track, I heard like a little like a kind of rattling sound. And I did actually a little research on the internet, and I found out that there are a lot of guys had the kind of like a similar issues with the saddle of the Gibson 335 or like other Gibson guitars. So and it turned out that the original saddle has like a little kind of like a wire, and that sometimes kind of get too loose, and it makes kind of like a weird like a tiny little like a rattling sound. which actually would be noticeable when you actually mic the your guitar when you do the recording. So I didn't really like that. So I talked to my friend Rick, and he recommended me to get this one, which is Callaham ABR1. Ever since I replaced the original one to this one, I have had no rattling sound issue or whatsoever. So if you have experienced like same type of issue, I strongly encourage you to get this one because this does really work. Those are the things that you can notice by looking at it like closely. But actually I did one more kind of like a modification to this guitar. Actually, one of my friends, Norio Imai, who does always like a great job on repairing, actually he did one modification to me. I actually don't know exactly what he did, but according to what he said, he used silver for soldering. I think that was actually for grounding or something, but by using the silver, you have like a clear kind of signal going out. So the result would be you can get much clearer sound, and I usually play with like a few pedals, not with like distortions all the time. So I really like that modification because I love crystal clear, clean tone. So if you want to know more about this, I'll include the link to his website in the descriptions below. Okay, next I would like to talk about strings and picks. Okay, I use the Diodario EJ21, and that set has 12 on the top, the first string, and 16 on the second string. But I replaced the top string to the 13 and the second string to 17, so that I have actually kind of heavier gauge on the top, and everything else are the same. So that's actually what I have right now. And as for the pick, I actually use the custom pick that was made by Master 8 Japan. This is actually the company from Japan. And actually I got to know them when I was actually playing at the NAMM show like 2 or 3 years ago. They gave me a bunch of sample picks, and I picked the actually I found really good ones, and I actually asked them to make the custom pick based on the pick that I liked. Okay, and this one has nice kind of like a gold design on the front, and on the back it's got actually a little bit of my me. This is actually from my solo album. Okay, the reason why I really like about the pick is of course because of the tone, and very kind of natural sounding pick. And the other thing that I really like about this pick is actually this is kind of thick, and when I play it doesn't really crack or like it breaks, so I feel like I can use this pick for the rest of my life. One last thing, I actually got a lot of questions, but one of the most popular ones are is this the best guitar for me? And I would like to actually answer to that question in this video. I really like this guitar, but to me this is not the best instrument. Rather, it's more like a best partner, because there are some things that I don't really like about this guitar, but I kind of live with it, and I kind of learn a lot of things by playing this guitar. So this guitar actually helped me to be who I am as a musician. So I kind of grew up with this guitar, and this was the only guitar that I brought to the United States when I actually moved from Japan to the United States in 2001. So it's been by me all the time, so it's like really a great partner, like a musical partner. But I can say that I can find like a much better guitar, so that's my take on it. There are lots of performance videos on my YouTube channel, so you can hear me actually play this guitar on like a bunch of different tunes. And I also released 8 albums as a band leader, and I played this guitar on almost all the tunes, except a couple tunes with like acoustic guitars, and also one of the other guitars that is made by my friend Rick McCurdy. So if you want to check how this guitar sounds like more, please check my YouTube videos, and also listen to my albums on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon. If you want to buy actually a physical copy of the CD, please feel free to contact me from the website in the descriptions below. And last but not least, I am going to include all the info about things that I mentioned in this video, including the subtle, and also picks and strings, and website to my friends. So please check the descriptions below. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.